Are you overwhelmed by all the centers you need to have in your classroom but don't have room for? Or maybe your kids are overwhelmed by all the choices they have in centers. In today's episode, we'll look at some ways to make the most of the centers you do have and how to combine some centers to maximize space. But first, I wanted to introduce you to a brand new feature we have here at Elevating Early Childhood that I think you'll love. And that is a way to leave me a voicemail message.
Hello? Oh, voicemail.
I know you're like, Vanessa, voicemail isn't anything new or anything I can get excited about. But this one is a little different. So for our members, all they have to do is go to the Teaching Trailblazer homepage and click on the button that says Ask Vanessa a Question. Then they can use their smartphone and record themselves asking me a very succinct question, one question per voicemail. And then each week I will choose one of those questions to answer here on the podcast. And so I'm super excited to announce that this is the first episode in this series. I'm looking forward to featuring more of these listener questions in upcoming episodes. Now, our very first message from one of our Trailblazer students was received just yesterday. So here goes.
You've got mail.
Hi, my name's Crystal and I'm a pre-K teacher from Connecticut and I have 18 students. I was wondering if it is a good idea to combine your letter center and your writing center together and maybe call it literacy, or should I keep them both separate centers?
Well, Crystal, let me start by saying that you're definitely not alone because I get asked this question all the time in the beginning of each school year. Getting your centers set up and not just running, but running well is a really big job. And it's not always an easy one either. Especially if you have like an odd-shaped classroom or maybe a super small classroom, a classroom that's too big can even be a problem. It can even be difficult to set up centers in a perfectly square classroom. There's always going to be challenges when it comes to setting up centers. But regarding your question, Crystal, about combining centers, I believe it's more important to have the right tools and the materials than it is to worry about where these tools and materials are located in the classroom. I've combined many centers in the various classrooms I had on different campuses over the years, depending on the tools, the space, and the materials that I had available to me at that time. I've combined my art and my writing center before because a lot of those tools and materials can be used for both purposes. So kids could use the alphabet stamps and stamp their name, and then they could write it, or they could use them to decorate their paintings or pictures that they drew. They could paint a picture or use the paint to write their names. And in my super small square classroom, I made the writing center vertical and located it near our wall-mounted easel to combine art and writing together. I've also always combined my blocks and my circle time area because during free choice centers, I'm not using the circle time area anyway, so why not, right? Now, some teachers, they like to combine their classroom library with the flannel board or the listening center, since they all have to do with retelling stories anyway. And the same thing goes for your alphabet and your writing center question. I say, why not, Crystal? In fact, research has actually proven that the more transitions children have in a school day, the more learning is disrupted, which then results in less learning that happens, right? And this is the reason that some programs allow only a few centers at a time. Because if kids are always transitioning from center to center, right, you're going to actually end up losing time because there's a lot of things that happen during these transitions. But that doesn't mean you can't offer all of the wonderful experiences, tools, or materials to your students. You just have to think differently about how to go about it and to combine centers. So certain programs, I'm sure some of you out there are aware, they require that centers like math and science are combined to create one center called Discovery, which makes a lot of sense to me because there's a lot of crossover between those two subjects, right? So having centers like listening, retelling, blocks, dramatic play, sensory art, writing, math, science, and library will give your students a well-rounded, high-quality preschool experience. So even if you combine some of them, they're still having the experience, right? Now, you can go ahead and download my free Center Essentials Guide, complete with sample maps to help you successfully set up centers in your own classroom. And if you're watching along, there'll be a link to that free resource in the show notes below. You might have to click on the word more to expand the description box and find that link. And if you're listening along, just go to prekpages.com and type Center Essentials into the search box. And don't forget that Crystal is a Teaching Trailblazer student, so she has 24/7 access to more than 50 hours of on-demand, in-depth video training to watch at her convenience, and more than $1,700 worth of printable curriculum she can download and use in her classroom right away. And in addition to all that, she also has a supportive community of mentors to lift her up, encourage her, and help her troubleshoot and problem solve classroom issues. Until next time, I'm Vanessa Levin. Onward and upward. If you think these videos are valuable, you have got to come check out the Teaching Trailblazers program. Teaching Trailblazers is the place for teachers like you to get the professional development resources and support you need to thrive. It's where you can learn relevant, life-changing best practices with professional development created specifically around the challenges early childhood teachers face. It's where you can get access to a complete research-based pre-K curriculum that you can use either to supplement your existing curriculum or use on its own to get 100% of your students kindergarten ready by the end of the year. And it's where you can hang out and connect over all things early childhood with other teachers just like you and me. It's my favorite place on earth, and it will change your teacher life, I guarantee it. Come join us at teachingtrailblazers.com to get more information and apply today. That's teachingtrailblazers.com. I can't wait to see you there.